Hey everybody, it's Thursday afternoon. I thought maybe it's time for a PNN pop-up. That's when I briefly go through a couple of topics. There's so many to choose from. As you may notice, I have my Stop Project 2025 banner up from last year. I have one of those signs is still hanging out on the deck there. And I just want to remind us that we're still in the fight. And when we fight, we win, as it says behind me. This trip to Saudi Arabia, the whole Qatar fiasco, the plane fiasco, Dumpy's appearance at an interview, I think with one of the Saudis, I don't know who it was. It might have been the Crown Prince. He was at an interview. And honest to God, it's like if you had a relative who you just kind of was like a common understanding in the family, you just all kind of knew the relative was starting to lose his faculties somewhat. And that relative started talking gibberish. Or, calling groceries like an old-fashioned word, groceries. And being in not that your relative would be in a foreign country, but when you consider this is supposedly the president of the United States talking about eggs. Anyway, if it was just a member of your family at a family gathering, you'd all be like kind of, looking at each other with knowing glances and maybe rolling your eyes a little bit and then just kind of going with it, right? And you all kind of know, yeah, Uncle so-and-so is, his mind is going. And you wouldn't take anything that he was saying very seriously, just in the awareness that that person's mind is going. Meanwhile, I remember a while back, really several months ago, when I pulled cards about what was going on in our country with the party of fascists. And I remember this one occasion where the Seven of Swords came up, and I looked at the card, and I went, oh my God. And this is like about a year ago. I went, oh my God. They're robbing us blind. These formerly known as Republicans. And it's been going on for a very long time. They're stealing all the money. They're taking the money for our future, for future generations, and they're stealing it. So now they're attempting to steal people's health care. The RFK Jr. hearing, where he got grilled by Democrats, yay Democrats, did an awesome job. He should be ashamed of himself. The Kennedy family has advocated for the disabled for as long as I can remember. I'm going to pull 3 cards about that. I'm going to pull 3 cards about the fallout from the RFK hearings, and I'll just use these cards. I'll use these cards first, and then I may pull the nefarious cards. RFK's hearing. The fallout from that. In general. I hope you're having a good day. The world is taking notice of RFK Jr. because they're understanding that in the event of a global pandemic, the United States has no plan, no recourse. So just the aftermath of the RFK, I don't know if the hearings are going to continue. I think it was yesterday and today, and I haven't been following their schedule. But I know what I've heard of him is horrifying. If you can listen to his gravelly voice, that's just, and you can see his eyes, and they're all crazy. And then the latest thing that we heard was that he took his grandchildren to swim in a in a place where it was toxic, and there was a sign, don't swim here, and just the fact that he would do that. I mean, it's like I said, it's pathos. I've been saying that. It's just pathos. It's absolute insanity. So the aftermath of that is that the world is very, very aware that the United States of America, I mean, I'm actually saying this as a world thing, and it kind of makes sense when you think about COVID was a worldwide pandemic. The moon card, people are very, very, very upset at the whole RFK Jr. situation. I'm on high alert about it because the guides are telling me that something's coming and we're not going to be prepared and we're not going to be equipped at all. What we're in the United States is we're in a life or death situation, but it hasn't devolved yet to the point where we all are really taken aback because everything shifts and changes. Now, I know we don't want to think about what it was like to be in COVID, but just reflect on it for a moment. How scary that was. And we had people like Dr. Fauci. Let me move this a little bit. We had people like Dr. Fauci that we could just kind of call on because that was his gig. And he was demonized and threatened with prison, and people said he should be executed, and we had that. So who on earth do we think is going to step up in case of a pandemic? And pandemics happen. So the aftermath of RFK Jr.'s hearing is horrendous. Now, the Queen of Pentacles points to, I feel like there were a couple of women who were grilling him at that hearing who were going to keep pounding away at this whole issue of an illegitimate, vastly ill-equipped, and really, doing criminal things when it comes to, somebody's health and well-being. I think the women that we heard from are going to spearhead removing him. So let's ask the pendulum. If I have one handy, I've been moving them all around. I might not have one on the table. Well, let's just ask the cards. It's not like I need the pendulum, but there's one in my purse and I'd put it downstairs. I never know what I'm going to ask about when I do these pop-ups. It's just kind of the way I roll. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about his fate. Because that I just pulled, that was just about the aftermath of what we heard from him. He literally said, well, I don't want to be giving people advice about what to do. I do have a pendulum. Will he be removed? Yes, he will be removed. Okay, let's ask this now. Pendulum always pops up from somewhere. Generally, tarot cards pop up too, out of nowhere. He will be removed. RFK Jr. will be removed from that position. I see Democrats when I'm asking about that. That removing him will be spearheaded by Democrats. Okay, so I'm going to ask will it happen before a pandemic or during or after a pandemic hits? Okay, will it be before a pandemic hits? Undecided. Okay. Will we be facing a pandemic during the time he's in office? Okay, so no. Okay. Phew. So he's going to lose his position, RFK Jr. I'm not seeing a pandemic in the near future. Will he be removed within a few months? Yes, I get that he's going to be removed within a few months. Let's ask how many months. Will it be 1 month? Okay, it's imminent. Will it be in less than 1 month? Nope. In about 1 month, expect some activity in terms of removing him from his seat. And I'm going to pull 3 cards up, just further information about that. Thank you for joining me for my videos. Please hit the thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already. And just know that when you share my videos, it helps me financially. And I know we all are here to help one another. 9 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Queen of Wands. Okay, that's the second time I got the Queen of Wands. I think that was the Queen of Wands. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, so more about his removal. He can't handle it. He can't handle the job. The Page of Swords, people are going to start screaming. I get a lot of pages lately, which is representative of we the people. The Queen of Wands. Okay, so that's consistent. The women, well, that motherly instinct. The women are going to freak out over him. Over him being in that position. So we have that to look forward to. So, because I'm just making this a quick video, I've been absolutely horrified by what I've seen of Dumpy. I did post a picture of Dumpy's makeup job. Oh my God. It's like nobody's watching, nobody's looking out for him. Like if you were like a rock star, not that he's a rock star, but if you were a famous person, you would generally travel with people who would make sure that your appearance was all intact before you got on the global stage. He looks like he's getting ready for Halloween and he was going to dress like a pumpkin. A bad pumpkin at that. And during this trip to Saudi Arabia, I think we have seen how progressively worse he's getting. He's in a downward spiral. And I'm telling you, when I heard him talking about the price of eggs to one of the Saudi dignitaries, I'll go back and look and see who that was. It's scary as hell. It is. It's such an easy target. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about the aftermath of his visit to the Middle East. For him. What's the aftermath for him? Something happens quickly. I'm getting the World again. Something happens quickly on the world stage. The 6 of Cups. He's rendered incompetent. Dumpy is rendered incompetent after this trip to Saudi Arabia. Something's going to happen on the world stage really quickly and abruptly, and he loses his footing. And what I mean by that is he loses his grip on his position. And I want every single one of you to promise yourself, promise me telepathically, that you are not going to go, oh no, but if he falls, then J.D. Vance will be president. Let it go. Please just let it go. I'm begging you. Let it go. This is clearly a situation where a coup has taken place in the United States of America. And J.D. is a criminal too. Big time. They're all criminals. That's unprecedented. So let's not fall into the trap of, but the way that it's supposed to go is like this, right? Let's not fall into that trap. This entire mob needs to be overthrown. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to read on before I let you go and upload this, and then we're meeting tonight 7 p.m. Eastern because it's Thursday night and we do a guided meditation, visualization meditation for a healed America. It's only a half an hour. Please plan to join us. The first 15 minutes we chat, the rest of the time, the other 15 minutes we do the guided meditation. And I just go with what the guides give me to channel for a meditation. You got nothing to lose, and we've got everything to gain. And if you ever want to do those meditations, they're all posted under the lives on Thursdays. Tell your friends, the more minds engaged, the better. I'm going to read on these people from South Africa in the face of all that's going on with the whole immigrant situation. Deporting legit people to concentration camps without due process. Good, upstanding citizens, so many of them. ICE wreaking havoc on everybody's psyche in this country. And that is, and we will look later, not in this video, but we'll look later at who is ICE. We'll look at that. And in light of all that's going on there, now the United States government, I put that in quotations, flies people in from South Africa, where Elon Musk is from, and claims that they're refugees and we're rescuing them from a genocide of white people. I mean, their lies aren't even credible. Their lies defy like the history of what we all know about happenings in the world and world politics. 3 cards about that. And I did see a little video clip of them, and it's really odd. So I'm pulling 3 cards about what happens there with that. The Knight of Swords, justice comes in. It's immigrant fraud. Justice comes in. They're kind of left out in the cold. This looks like people stand up and protest this happening. And I'm talking about people that are in our legal system. And the Hermit is, these people got flown here and they really just don't even know what's up or what to do. I did read on it before, and I got that they wouldn't like it. They wouldn't like, I think that just feeling so unwelcome by 99% of the American people. Maybe not that high, but they just got thrown into the fire, so to speak, metaphorically speaking. At a time that nobody wants to come here, right? So it will be called out. I will ask before I go, for the moment, will they be sent back to South Africa? Will they be sent back? Okay, so it's going around, so it's not like really sent back. Let's do this. Will some of them, I think there are 17. Will some choose to go back? Yes, some will choose to go back to South Africa. They'll voluntarily go back home. Will it be a majority of them that voluntarily go back home? Will it be a majority of them? Oh, interesting, yes. So I see them being offered the choice to go back home to South Africa, and that's a really strong yes. I don't think it's going to be pleasant for them here. I'm not predicting violence or anything, but just in this climate that we're in, it's kind of like, why would you do that to people? And Elon's thumbprint is all over this. So I'll let you go for now. Please know that my channel, my income, my sustaining this whole thing is solely dependent on readings I book and donations that are made, and how many subscribers, and especially how many views and comments that I get. So like, subscribe. If you're a member, you have access to all the classes that I'm now teaching that are set to members only. So take advantage of that by hitting the join button and choosing at which rate you would like to contribute. And thank you so much, and we'll see you at 7 p.m. every Thursday. So tonight at from 7 to 7:30 Eastern time. Okay, see you. Namaste. Take care. Take a break from the news. Bye.